Welcome to our channel, Book by Book. Today we are summarizing Thomas Erikson's big international bestseller, Surrounded by Idiots. And this is a book that, well, it really promises to change how you interact with pretty much everyone.
It really does. And yeah, the title is intentionally provocative, designed to grab you. But the message underneath is actually super practical. If you've ever walked out of a meeting or maybe a family chat thinking, why can't they just get it? Or why are they so slow? Erikson basically says you might be asking the wrong question entirely.
Right. That frustration we feel, it often comes because we assume everyone sees the world, processes things the same way we do. And the book's core idea is, well, those people you find difficult, they aren't necessarily being impossible. They just communicate using a totally different system than you.
Exactly, a different operating system almost, and that system is what we're going to unpack today. Our goal here is to walk you through Erikson's framework. It's simple, but quite powerful. It's the DISC model. He uses 4 colors to categorize personalities. And understanding this can help you, stop labeling people and start actually decoding their behavior. It's about building bridges, communication bridges, instead of those emotional walls we sometimes put up.
Okay, let's definitely unpack that core framework.
Yeah.
Because it really is the foundation for everything else in the book.
Yeah.
So the central idea revolves around these 4 colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. Each one represents a distinct personality type, right? Based on how they operate and what motivates them.
That's right. Let's run through them quickly, focusing on what each color really values, according to the book. So first up, you've got red. These are the dominant types. Think bold, decisive, maybe a bit relentless sometimes. They're all about action, speed, and above all, they value results. Getting things done, often the natural leaders, they cut straight to the point.
Okay, red. Got it. Results-driven. Then there's yellow.
Yeah, yellows are the inspiring types. They're usually very social, super enthusiastic, optimistic, often the life of the party type. Their main value, it's fun and connection. They really thrive on interacting with people, new ideas, possibilities.
Right, the social butterflies.
Okay.
And then green.
Green is kind of the opposite end of that energy spectrum. They're the stable types. Think patient, very calm, empathetic. They value stability and harmony more than anything. These are your loyal supporters. They really dislike conflict, sudden changes. They like things steady.
Steady and supportive. Makes
sense.
And the last one, blue.
Blue, the analytical group. These folks are logical, often reserved, and incredibly cautious, detail-oriented. They value facts and structure. Think meticulous, maybe perfectionists. Accuracy is huge for them, much more than speed.
Facts and structure. Okay.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how this whole framework pushes you to shift your perspective. Like I said, Erikson uses this analogy of different operating systems. So if your brain is wired like a red quick, decisive, focused on results, you can't just expect someone who's, say, a methodical blue to run on that same software without, well, crashing. Just recognizing that fundamental difference can help you stop seeing them as wrong.
And start seeing them as just different.
Exactly. Different wiring.
That simple reframe, it does provide instant clarity, doesn't it? It feels like a defense against getting instantly frustrated. Like if a colleague who might be a blue needs 3 rounds of data checks before they move forward. It's not personal sabotage against my deadline. It's just their operating system prioritizing precision, making sure errors are avoided.
Precisely. And that leads us straight into the book's foundational lesson, really, which is adapt, don't judge. Successful communication, Erikson argues, isn't about changing other people. It can't be. It's about being flexible yourself, adapting your style to connect with their style.
Okay, adapt, don't judge. That sounds good, but, adapting your natural style, that can feel like hard work. Like if I'm naturally a fast-paced red, how does the book suggest I suddenly slow down and find the patience for maybe a slower-moving green? Does it give us tools for that flexibility, or is it just like grit your teeth and do it?
Well, it's less about raw willpower and more about targeted effort, aiming your adaptation at what motivates them. Erikson uses this great analogy. Communication is like tuning a radio. If you just stay stuck on your own frequency, shouting into the mic, demanding everyone else tune in, all you're going to hear back is static, misunderstanding.
Right.
The effort isn't just brute force. It's in consciously adjusting your communication approach to match their frequency. And that starts crucially with self-awareness, knowing your own frequency first.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. So before I can even think about connecting with a red effectively, I need to understand how my own natural color, maybe I'm a really chatty yellow, might be coming across to them. Like maybe my rambling is just actively annoying that results-focused red I'm talking to.
Yeah, exactly that. You have to know your own starting point, your own tendencies. And once you have that self-awareness, then you can work on the skill of situational adaptation. Which brings us neatly to the specific strategies for each color.
Okay, strategies. Good. Let's maybe group them like you suggested earlier. Maybe the task-oriented colors, first red and blue.
Yeah.
They're both focused on getting things done, but in like totally different ways.
Good idea, yeah. Let's start there. So red, the race car is right. They need speed, clarity. When you're talking to a red, the strategy is be direct, be brief, be confident. Seriously, avoid the small talk, the overly friendly buildup. They just want the bottom line. Now,
Right.
so effective communication sounds like the shipment arrives Friday, 5 p.m., confirmed. Anything wishy-washy like we'll try to get it there soon just sounds incompetent to them.
Okay, direct, brief, confident for reds, efficient. But then the blue type, also task-oriented, but almost the opposite of efficient in that red way. Their success metric is accuracy proof, the microscopes you call them.
Exactly. So with blues, you have to win them over with logic, precision. You need to provide data, details, verifiable proof. You absolutely cannot say, oh, this strategy always works. I've got a good feeling about it. No. You need to say something like, here's the statistical analysis from 3 similar projects over the last 6 months. It shows an average 18% improvement, which supports using this strategy. You have to respect their need for detail. That's how you earn their trust.
That blue strategy sounds critical, but I do worry about, analysis paralysis. If you keep feeding a blue data, won't they just keep asking for more proof and never actually make a decision? Does the book talk about where that line is between necessary precision and just stalling?
It does address that. The suggestion is you need to kind of preempt their main questions by providing the right level of detail up front. But then you also gently steer them back towards the deadline or the decision point. While a red responds to, what's the goal? A blue might respond better to, what specific data points do we need to finalize this decision by Friday? You provide the necessary structure for their analysis, the parameters to guide them to a conclusion without making them feel rushed or like they're cutting corners, because they hate that.
Okay, that distinction is really helpful, providing structure, not just data. Now let's shift to the other pair, the people-oriented types, yellow and green. Their main motivation is around relationships, connections, but again, very different needs.
Totally different. So yellows, they're all about enthusiasm, connection, the bright balloons. When you communicate with the yellow, you got to match their energy, their positivity, at least initially. If you just dive straight into facts and spreadsheets, you kind of kill their vibe, their motivation. You want to encourage their big, maybe even wild ideas first, get them excited.
Okay, match the energy. But if they're so focused on the fun and the ideas, how do you actually get a yellow to, follow through, to handle the details and the structure they tend to ignore?
Good question. You provide gentle grounding. You validate the excitement. That's a fantastic idea. But then, almost immediately, you assign clear, concrete responsibilities. Frame it as part of making the exciting vision happen. They need that string, like you said with the balloon analogy, to stay anchored. Keep the conversation upbeat, but transition smoothly from big idea to, okay, so who does what by when?
Gentle grounding. I like that. Okay, and finally the greens. Motivated by harmony, stability, oak tree steady, dependable.
Exactly. So for greens, the key words are pace and reassurance. Because they value predictability and really dislike conflict, you have to avoid pushing sudden changes on them. No aggressive negotiations either. Be patient, be supportive. If you're introducing a new process or a big shift, give them time. Ample time to adjust, maybe talk it over with others. If you try a red style, we need this decided by lunchtime approach with a green, they'll just retreat, resist, become super passive. They need to feel secure that the new thing won't disrupt the team's harmony or their stable role.
That's a really powerful breakdown of the 4 core styles. But as you said, the book is clear. Almost nobody is purely one color. So what does this actually mean for real life, where most people are some kind of blend?
It means we absolutely have to remember that people are blends, not neat little boxes. And embracing that complexity, that flexibility is where the model gets really useful. The book uses another analogy here. Personality colors are like recipes. Most people aren't just pure sugar or pure flour. They're a mix that creates a unique flavor. So someone might be, say, a red-blue blend, dominant and decisive, but also really detail-oriented when it comes to like finances or contracts.
Okay. So you need to adapt to both aspects.
Pretty much. For that red-blue manager, you'd need to be direct about the goal, red, but also provide the supporting data, blue. Or think about a green-yellow blend. Someone who values stability, green, but also needs social connection and fun, yellow. You'd need to reassure them about changes while also keeping things positive and team-focused.
The moment you recognize someone might be, say, a green-blue blend, needing both stability and precision, your whole communication approach has to shift, right? You stop pushing for red-style speed and instead start offering, I don't know, carefully organized, detailed transition plans that emphasize security.
Exactly, you're adapting to the blend. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Hmm.
we have to talk about stress, because stress is where these traits, even the blends, can really go off the rails. Under pressure, our dominant traits often intensify, sometimes in unhelpful ways. Reds can become overly aggressive or controlling. Yellows might get chaotic, scattered, make impulsive promises. Greens can become extremely passive, avoidant, just shut down. And blues, they can get lost in criticism, finding fault with everything, becoming overly pessimistic.
That stress component is huge, yeah, because we've all seen that happen. So if you're dealing with, say, a red who's become really aggressive under pressure, what's the specific adaptation strategy the book recommends? Because just yelling back is obviously not going to work. And like backing down completely just seems to make them push harder sometimes.
Right. The key is to maintain your own calm, first off. Don't mirror their aggression. Then immediately try to reroute the conversation back to the goal, the result that the red actually cares about. Strip away the emotional noise. The book suggests acknowledging their urgency. Maybe saying something like, I understand you're frustrated and we need this solved quickly. But then pivot immediately. To get the result we need, let's look at option A and option B. Which one gets us there fastest and most effectively? You address the behavior by reinforcing their core value, the objective. It helps de-escalate without you having to just retreat.
Okay, focus on the goal, stay calm. That makes sense for handling a stressed red. So the ultimate skill here for the best communicators, it's mastering that situational adaptation, isn't it? Knowing when to put on which colored hat, depending on the situation, like being super focused in blue when you're checking quality control details, but then being dynamic in yellow when you're in a creative brainstorming meeting.
That's the ideal, yes. Flexibility based on context.
Okay, so let's try and distill this down into some immediate actionable takeaways for you listening right now. Things you can start using maybe even today.
Good plan. Okay, first action, and it's the most immediate. Identify your dominant color first. Really think about it. Maybe ask people who know you well. You can't adapt effectively if you don't know your own starting point, your natural tendencies, and maybe your blind spots.
Right. Start with self-awareness. Okay, second.
Second, start consciously observing others. Practice guessing their color type. Listen to their language. Watch their body language. Are they all about results, getting things done now, red? Are they asking for data, details, proof, blue? Do they talk a lot about the team, avoiding conflict, keeping things smooth, green? Or are they bringing high energy, focusing on ideas, connections, yellow? Just start noticing.
Observe and guess. Okay, third point.
Third, and this is the key practice part, start adapting your style deliberately, but maybe in low-stakes situations first. Try being more direct and brief with someone you think is a red. Try matching enthusiasm, but then gently guiding towards action with a yellow. Practice being extra patient and supportive with a green. And try providing more data and logical structure for a blue. Just experiment.
Practice adapting. Makes sense. And finally, number 4.
Finally, especially if you work in or manage a team, leverage the diversity you probably already have. The book argues the best teams use this mix intentionally. Maybe rely on reds for driving leadership and making tough calls. Use blues for crucial quality checks, risk assessment, detailed planning. Tap into yellows for generating new ideas, building morale, networking. And lean on greens for stability, follow-through, and maintaining those reliable day-to-day processes.
Leverage diversity. Got it. That's a great set of actions.
So just to recap the absolute core wisdom from Surrounded by Idiots, the top 5 lessons boil down to this. 1. People really do come in these 4 basic color styles, and their motivations differ significantly. 2. You have to adapt your style. Don't expect or wait for others to change for you. It's on you. 3. Remember, the core needs blends. Reds need clarity and results. Yellows need enthusiasm and guidance. Greens need patience and reassurance. Blues need precision and data. 4. Most people are blends. Avoid rigidly stereotyping. Use the colors as guides, not boxes. And 5. Better communication, tailored communication, leads directly to fewer conflicts and much stronger relationships.
And that final thought from Erikson that we should probably keep front of mind because it sums it all up, right? Communication is not what you say, it's what the other person understands.
Yeah.
That's the real measure of whether you succeeded or not.
Absolutely. And I think the real kind of genius of this simple model is realizing that once you stop defaulting to seeing others as idiots and you start trying to figure out which communication key fits their lock, your whole world can actually transform those frustrating conflicts. They can become opportunities to actually understand someone better. And relationships, both at work and home, can become sources of strength instead of stress.
So maybe the next time you feel that frustration rising in a meeting, on a call, even at the dinner table, just pause for a split second and ask yourself, hang on, am I misunderstanding their color style here? Or is this really about a fundamental disagreement? That tiny pause, that quick question, it might just stop a simple misunderstanding from snowballing into a major conflict. You found this book summary helpful? Please do subscribe to our channel, Book by Book. We bring you valuable insights like this regularly. And sharing the summary with others who might benefit, or even just hitting that like button, it really motivates us to keep finding and summarizing the best books out there.